The wild is a scary place, filled with so many predators. A day out in the real wilderness is a game of survival. Luckily, we're tucked away from the dangers of these wild animals, but occasionally one might skip the fence and make its way to our neighborhood. Though fatalities from such encounters are usually very rare, it does happen. But we aren't here today to talk about animals which eat other animals, but something quite surprising. Meet the 10 plants that eat animals, and some of them can be grown in your own garden. Here we go. While you're here, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more such amazing content. Number 10. Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap needs no introduction, as this fascinating plant has been covered by the media many times. With a spiked mouth and contrasting colours of red on the inside and green on the outside, the Venus flytrap is a formidable monster, if you're an insect, that is. They rely on a clever trapping mechanism to catch their food. The insects are drawn to the open mouth of the Venus flytrap due to the sweet sap which can be found in the middle. Once inside, the insect inadvertently triggers one of the tiny spines within the mouth, which will start off a timer. If the insect triggers another spine within the next 20 seconds, the Venus flytrap will close shut with little to no time for the insect to escape. This timer-based trap system requires multiple triggers and helps the plant in weeding out non-prey catches like leaves or twigs. The plant needs to be careful while closing its trap and ensure that it's not a partial trapping, which could prove fatal to both the plant and the insect. If the bacterial decomposition happens anywhere outside the mouth, it can be detrimental to the Venus flytrap. The mouth is guarded against this problem by an antiseptic which the plant produces. The digestive enzymes are only released once the trapped insect triggers 6 or more spines after the trap is closed. This ensures that the catch is a true prey and can be absorbed. Although the Venus flytrap has been successfully transplanted across different countries, it's native only to the coastal bogs of North and South Carolina, especially within the 60-mile radius of Wilmington, USA. Number 9. Byblis liniflora. If you know your Greek mythology, here's a plant which is named after Byblis, who is the granddaughter of Apollo. The story goes that Byblis fell in love with her twin brother, Cornus, who ended up rejecting her. Good call. Saddened by the news, Byblis weeps uncontrollably and eventually turns into a spring. The Byblis liniflora is named after this very mythological figure. This plant has an unusual yet beautiful appearance thanks to the hundreds of droplets of mucilage, a type of sap produced by almost all plants that looks like a droplet, present all over its branches. Since these transparent droplets refract light, it puts on a beautiful show of rainbow colours when the sunlight shines over it. While you're being wowed by its beauty, this plant is also actively trying to ensnare insects. The insects get stuck to these sticky drops. Once trapped, the plant starts to secrete its digestive enzymes to slowly digest the catch. This plant is native to Australia, but also makes a great potted addition to your home garden. They're also known to bloom bright pink flowers during late spring. Number 8. Portuguese sundew. Native to the Western Mediterranean, including Spain, Portugal and Morocco, the Portuguese sundew is a distant relative of the Byblis plant from before. They mostly grow in dry soil which lack nutrients, but supplement it with insects caught within its trap. Like the Byblis, the Portuguese sundew is also covered with mucilage all across the leaves. Once an unlucky insect gets trapped in its gooey mess, the long leaves start to coil, further trapping the insect in its clutches. It almost looks like a boa constrictor coiling around its prey. The struggling insect eventually dies of exhaustion or suffocation, and the plant slowly releases digestive enzymes which will break it down into important nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. The Portuguese sundew is also known for its radiant yellow flowers and its strong sweet scent which attracts potential prey. What an ingenious plant! Number 7. Roridula. Here's a carnivorous plant which is also beneficial to humans. The Roridula is native to the Cape of southern Africa and has been used by early settlers of this region as a fly trap. Since the plant is covered with a sticky sap, it proved efficient against insects which wandered into people's homes. The name Roridula means dewy in Latin and can grow up to 6 feet tall, and they're very rare to find. It's considered as the only carnivorous bush in the world and produces a very sticky sap which is produced by the main tissue of the plant. Its resin is so sticky, in fact, that it can even trap birds. The decomposing bird attracts flies which feast on it and also drop feces around the Roridula, which enriches the soil around the plant. But not all insects get ensnared by the Roridula sap. The assassin bug, being covered with its own greasy layer, prevents its body from being stuck to the mucilage, allowing these bugs to maneuver around the raw radula with relative ease. But the droppings from the assassin bug make them a beneficial presence. Number 6. Butterwort. These unusual looking plants are called butterworts. They're spread across Europe, Africa and the Americas. There are about 80 species which come under them, and they're known to be carnivorous. The butter in its name comes from its glistening and fat structure of its leaves. These leaves are filled with small droplets of mucilage which look like water to unsuspecting insects. Drawn to this, the insect gets stuck in the sap and is on its way to be digested alive. The plant then releases the enzymes required to make this happen. After all the digestion is done, only the indigestible exoskeleton of the insect is left behind. Another interesting feature of this plant is how the rosette of leaves changes its appearance based on the season. It becomes smaller and greener when it enters a non-carnivorous phase, and becomes larger and with more dark purple shades during summer when it turns carnivorous. What a complex yet fascinating plant. Number 5. Cobra lily. Here's a carnivorous plant which certainly looks the part as well. The cobra lily is an extremely rare plant, but if you're lucky enough to come across one, you'll be in for a treat. The cobra lily, like the name suggests, looks like the rearing head of a cobra about to strike its prey. They're native to North California and Oregon, and are usually only found in low-nutrient bogs with running water. The leaves of the cobra lily are translucent, which is useful in confusing any would-be prey. Since they live in nutrient-deficient soil, they need to supplement it by catching insects. Once the insect makes its way inside, the hatch closes and the catch meets its end. The cobra lily also has a unique pump system which allows it to pull water from the roots to other parts of the plant. A curious looking plant which does its job well and survives in spite of the odds presented by its environment. The cobra lily is a truly unique species. Number 4. Australian sundew. The flora and fauna from the land down under is always part of any given list related to wildlife, which is why we present to you the Australian sundew. Compared to the other carnivorous plants on this list, this one ups the ante by its unique trapping system. Formed in a cultivar arrangement, the sundew is covered with many tentacles which, when triggered by a roaming insect, launch it into a set of tentacles with glue-like substance. The catapulting action is so fast that a high-speed camera was required to catch it in action. The speed registered was an incredible 400 milliseconds. That's how long it takes for an insect caught on the tentacles to be thrown into the gluey counterpart. It's able to achieve this feat without muscles or even a nervous system. Once within the clutches of the glue tentacles, the insect is slowly moved deeper into its mouth for digestion. The sticky sap which is found on the plant has incredible elastic properties which are used in the field of nanotechnology research. Amazing. Number 3. Yellow pitcher plant. The yellow pitcher plant is a beautiful yet carnivorous plant native to southeastern United States, which covers Alabama to Georgia as well as Florida, Virginia and both North and South Carolina. These plants catch their meal using their unique pitcher-shaped leaves which are yellow in color. They're known to grow up to 3 feet in height, but most of them only grow up to 20 inches tall. The mouth of the pitcher is covered by a flap which protects its digestive fluid from getting diluted by rain. The hairs on the pitcher are lined in such a way that they direct any wandering flies to walk deeper into the mouth of the pitcher. The base of the pitcher contains a nectar which draws flies in, but the nectar itself contains a toxin which incapacitates the insect once inside. Eventually, the fly gets digested and keeps the yellow pitcher plant alive. They're also the most popular carnivorous plants which are grown indoors and may be a good starting point for someone interested in having these flesh-eating plants at home. Number 2. Monkey cups. Monkey cups, also known as Nepenthes, is a genus of carnivorous plant which consists of 170 species found in Asia, Africa and Australia. But if you want to find the largest of the bunch, you'll have to venture into the rainforests of Borneo, Sumatra and the Philippines. They're called monkey cups because monkeys have been known to drink water from them. These unusual looking plants can grow up to a height of 50 feet through climbing stem, and at the end of it are these brightly coloured pitchers which look a lot like a champagne float glass. Since they're brightly coloured, they attract insects who get lured and slide down a greasy path into the bottom of the pitcher which contains digestive enzymes. The Raja Borneo variety of the monkey cups are known to be the biggest of the species, which measure an impressive 16 inches long by 8 inches wide at the mouth of the pitcher. They're so big that remains of digested mammals like rats, as well as other animals like lizards, frogs and birds, have been found inside. They might be wide enough to trap our own heads. incredible species. Number 1. Large floating bladderwort. Finally, the last one on the list, the large floating bladderwort. These are aquatic carnivorous plants that are native to southeastern United States. They're a pretty fascinating plant that uses pontoons, air-filled sacs which allow the plant to float on water to trap its prey. The pontoons are able to attract insects and microfauna as well as other small plants. It does this by acting as a hollow trap with a trapdoor which is kept closed underwater. The plant's physiological system pushes the water from inside these hollow sacs to the outside and hence creates a state of low pressure. When an insect triggers the small bristles on the surface of the trapdoor, the door suddenly opens and the insect gets flushed into the hollow sac along with the water. The animal is then slowly digested. This species has become an invasive species in some parts of the US and are weeded out through sonar treatment, manual extraction or through the introduction of grass carp which consumes the floating bladderwort. Yet another fascinating species in the world of flesh-eating plants. And that's all of them. Which was the coolest carnivorous plant according to you? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button, share and subscribe. See you soon.